I'm Chuck Powell. I'm a GIS specialist at Westland. I'm also co-chair of the UAS work group for AGIC. And like Mark and Casey, we do whatever Jenna tells us to do. And in my case, I also do whatever Nade tells me to do. Somehow I ended up here today. So I apologize. Chris was unable to attend today. He's the one that collected all the cool data in that data. So I'm going to talk about using the iPad for bill collection with their built-in LiDAR scanner. iPhone 12 Pro was the first year, I believe, came out with the built-in LiDAR scanner, and the iPad Pro, I think, generation 3 or 4. I'm not an Apple guy. What you have to look for is the fourth circle on the camera, and that's the built-in LiDAR scanner. Comes with the Pro models. And this actually all started because of Jenna volunteering me to do another talk at the symposium, and I want to do something fun. So I got to buy a new toy on the company dime and play around with it for AGIC last year. And we tested out a couple apps. We wanted LAS exports. I didn't want to spend any more money. So we tested out a few apps. This one we really liked. And again, it was free. So it's a very original name, 3D scanner app. And it works great for us. You can see there's plenty of exports availability. We really love the LAS georeference. So it geotags the point cloud. Then you can export the mesh, the XYZ, or you can export all the data. And after that presentation, I did the hallway. This was pre-COVID, so right before. No, it was during COVID, correct? It was. So I did some hallway walkway or walk arounds and actually showed some of our field guys. And Chris really saw a great application for his job. He's a field director in our cultural resources department. And he automatically said, we need to use this in the field. So on the right is a typical feature excavation, sketch, and notes. And that's, they would take the measurements, count the rocks, and do this. Usually in cultural resources, it's 110 degrees when they're doing this. In Yuma or somewhere else in the desert, we send them up to Flagstaff in December usually. So it's always hot, it's always sweaty. Drawing these maps, the heat of the sun takes time, and our time, it is tedious. They were able to do a scan. This one took about 30 seconds using the iPad scanner, and now they have it. It's georeference. They can take the measurements back at the air-conditioned hotel or back in the office 6 months later when they're writing up the report. This is another typical sketch map of the features. You can see there's what I call riprap. They're called a linear feature of the rocks, where they put their test pits and where they excavated all the features. What this map really doesn't depict, you can see it very well, but this is a rock shelter, and this is an overhang here, and this is actually the feature right there of the data I have on the. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is actually a rock shelter or overhang, and this is the actual feature down in here. So to get all those measurements, they would have to be really kneeling or laying down and getting those measurements. This one was another couple of minutes scan. And if anyone wants to see the raw data, I have it on my screenshots to not do it justice. So they can come back in the office, take all their measurements, count the rocks, and do that interactively on a couple of viewers. We use QT Reader as one of our main viewers. We can put this up on the cloud and ArcGIS web map and so forth. So their ability to use this data in many different formats. This is just a blow up of the feature, as you can see right here. It's a sketch map. It's really hard to sketch out that 3D look of it. Yep. We're only using the built-in GPS, so location-wise, it's not very accurate unless we bring in control. Then relatively inside the scan, it's very accurate that we found. That's pretty much it. I took lightning, to heart on this one. So, it's very easy to do. Like I said, we have an iPad with this app. Hit the red button, and you just scan whatever you want to scan, and it turns pink. That's been scanned. What app is it? It's the 3D scanner app. And as you can see, now they can rotate it around, export it out. That's why I can pass it around.
You said you take this out and zero in the heat.
Yes.
How does it handle heat? Because I know iPads and iPhones are very sensitive.
Yes. So yes, they are getting better. We recently switched to all iPhones, Apple products at Westland. We haven't had any major complaints on the LiDAR scan. They did it from December, and they're still collecting now. So I think the hottest it's been at their locations, about 105. So they haven't had any complaints. Big thing is if it does get hot, we take the cases out. And for flight controllers, I've done the frozen or the very cold Mountain Dew can with the back.
You guys tried any of the cases and any luck with them?
No, we haven't. I stay away from the really ruggedized ones. They just keep the heat in. So we usually buy the brightest and cheapest ones from Amazon to try to avoid.
So you say you haven't tried the cooling cases?
No, we have not tried the cooling case. We wanted the first ones we bought were the life case or whatever, the waterproof, destructive proof. We could only use it, October through January. And then we went with just a kind of a cheaper Amazon case, and we haven't had too many issues. So, we haven't done a lot with the data in GIS, done any analysis on it very much. But the field guys, and especially them writing the report 6 months after the fact, it's just a great resource for them to use, to refer back to do measurements, and get the details for them. We haven't tried that yet, but that might be an option. We are this week. We are having our environmental crew because they saw how cool the archaeologists wanted, so they want their expensive toys too. So they're going out and actually doing cross sections on washes, and it's going to be a multi-year project. So we're going to see how it changes. They're going to take hand measurements and all that, but they want to see if the LiDAR